Yeah, I think when people say what I've been through, I think that's a stretch, man. I'm in the NFL for 10 years. So, I mean, to say what I've been through is it's kind of funny. And then to say, you know, people wrote me off. I just been working. You know, that's what it means by I never wrote back. I don't listen to stuff like that. I just work. You know, I know what I have inside of me. God's blessed me with talent and also a passion and a drive. And so as far as worrying about naysayers, anything like that, I don't get into that type of stuff. You know, people can write you off, but, you know, life's about what you make it. And so I've just been blessed enough to be in the NFL for 10 years and been working my butt off. And it's a team game, and we got to win tonight as a team.
Geno Smith, after the Seattle Seahawks knocked off Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos week 1. And what he said on the field, they wrote me off. I ain't right back, though. And I think he tried to get that trademarked at some point. And now we have an extra. Like you could put on the front, they wrote me off. I ain't right back. And then on the back it says, now they're writing checks because now he got paid by the Seattle Seahawks. I haven't seen the details on this one.
Yeah, right.
We haven't dug into whether or not the last year's phony or inflated to drive the average up because it's $35 million a year. 3 years, 105. Is there an unrealistic final year,
right,
2025, that kicks it that high? I'm still waiting to find out. But again, the number that the information robots rushed to Twitter with was 3 years, 105. Pretty good for Geno Smith. Whatever the truth is here, a hell of a lot better than we thought Geno Smith was going to be getting paid in the year 2023.
Yeah, winning, I mean, that's what he's doing. He's winning, and good for him. You mean, you want to talk about a success story and a guy that's hung in there and dealt with a lot of crap and just continued, like he said there, work, you know, head down, humble. That's where it's great to see. Get your opportunity, takes advantage of it, you know, right, Mike? But I'm with you. Yeah, I don't look at this and go, oh, well, he's definitely the starter for 3 years. It's a little bit almost like the Derek Carr situation. I kind of look at it as like it's probably going to be a 2-year deal, right? You know, there is the report out there, right, that he's going to get $52 million within the first calendar year. I have a hard time thinking he'll just be released after that, right? So we'll see what that, you know, extra or the practical guarantee is when it's all said and done here. But either way, they know he's their guy this year, and then hopefully, you know, the next 2 years after that. And they should. I mean, Geno Smith, his ability, as we talked about during the year, is above average NFL starting quarterback ability. His arm is above average for the NFL starting quarterback. It's really damn good. You saw that. His athleticism's damn good too. And it's not like he was in a dink and dunk offense and throw the ball short all the time too. They pushed the ball down the field. They were aggressive. So, and then he showed the leadership on top of that. And I think he kind of fits what Seattle's trying to sell to the rest of their team, that it's a team. It's not about one guy. And, you know, it's kind of, I think they have found it probably refreshing without Russell Wilson and some of the distractions that have come with that. So they're rewarding him for all the things above. And, you know, again, good for Geno Smith and getting this done.
Total career earnings through 10 seasons in the NFL, $17.55 million. Average on this new deal, twice that per year, $35 million. And again, we'll be getting, I've already got the line out in the water to get the full breakdown of the contract because, I mean, the real numbers should be out there. If people are going to be throwing around potentially inflated numbers, the real numbers should be out there. Whatever they are, whether inflated or not, they are what they are.
Well, it hurts the player ultimately.
Not whatever the agent.
Yeah.
Well, it hurts the player to have bullshit out there
exactly,
and then have it corrected. Let's just put the truth out there from the get-go. But the agents who do it, and attention to all the people out there who think that I'm in the pocket of the agents when I say Lamar Jackson should have one. This is a comment that would cut against your belief that I'm in their pocket. The agents are full of crap, and they lie about the value of the contract because it helps them in recruiting. So they take the headline. They'll take the headline. Whoever represents Derek Carr will take the 4 years, $150 million headline to try to get new clients and not point out it's 3 years, 100 and may only be 2 years, 70 with 10 million of it being paid by someone else when he lands with another team as a backup. They're not going to tell that part. It's going to be 4 years, 150. Look at this deal I got for Derek Carr. Look at this deal I got for Geno Smith. Look at this deal I got for Aaron Rodgers. Look at this deal I got for Deshaun Watson. That's what they do. And so they embrace the lie, and they keep pushing the lie in recruiting, ignoring the truth. It doesn't matter to them that the truth comes out later. They'll pick the headline that better suits their agenda and use that when they're trying to convince these college kids to pick them to be their agents. And the college kids have no idea that that's not what the value of the contract really is. Looks good to me. Looks good to me. Oh, you sent me a link to a story from NFL.com that said this is what he's getting paid. All right, that's good enough for me. Yeah, you got him $150 million over 4 years. Congratulations. That's why they do it.
No,
and
I know.
It's false and it's wrong. It's wrong, but they do it.
Yeah, it is wrong. I mean, it's part of the NFL propaganda machine. And I wish they would, do that where, you release the full contract, fine, but underneath there has to be parentheses to actually what it is. Because ultimately, even though the agents do it and it might make the player look better at first because he can stick his chest out and go, look at my average, and you explained everything else perfectly and why they'd want to do it, ultimately it gets used against the player. That's as an ex-player why I don't like it. Right? Derek Carr doesn't play good this year. What's the first thing everyone's going to say? 4 years, $150 million. How stupid are the Saints? 4 years, $150 million for Derek Carr. That's stupid. And then if you went, no, but it's really just 2 years, 35, 2 years, $70 million. That's what it is. Okay. But that's not going to happen. So that gets used against the player. Same with Geno. I mean, if it doesn't go well this year, it's going to be 3 years, $105 million for that guy. And I want to say, well, no, it's probably just going to be a 1 year, maybe get out there after 2 years or 1 year extremely expensive. But, yeah, that's where it does hurt the player. But, either way, it's a great thing.
Hey, it hurts the player in another way. It hurts the player in another way, too.
Yeah, what?
And, well, I mean, look, people think you got more money than you do.
Well, that's
you got more
true,
people
too.
coming and asking you for stuff.
That's the truth.
I mean, I think
I'm still living
guys that age, they have to balance. They have to balance. Okay, do I want to be the guy who's got the biggest contract in the locker room and make sure everyone knows it, or would I rather be discreet about it and not have it inflated falsely by agent lies? And because it's, they think I got more money than I got, and everybody's going to want something now. They're going to want it anyway.
Right.
But I've heard there are some players out there smart enough to know to ask for their deal to be secret and confidential. That's smart. That's next level. The only problem is you can't do it. Not in a salary capped environment where everybody knows what the players make. You have to have it all out there. People have to know whether or not teams are in cap compliance. The information is publicly available. It's part of the reality. But there are some players out there who can set aside this ego game of who's got the biggest contract and just say, I'd rather no one know what I have. Now, people are going to assume you have money, but there's a difference between people assuming you have money and knowing how much money you have. Right, Chris? People assume you and I have money. That's fine. Assume it. And we joke around about it. But we're never going to put our tax forms on Twitter. We're never going to talk about how much we make for a variety of reasons.
Yeah. I mean, you're doing a good job. You're explaining it right. I mean, yeah, I'm living that life. I mean, my dad has to live that life. I mean, people, all the time they just hear quarterback in the NFL and they think, well, damn, you made $20 million a year at one point then. And I want to be like, no, I didn't. I didn't make that even in my whole career. So I don't know what you're thinking about. It goes back to, so, but yeah, there is a part of that.
But your dad did. Your dad did.
But my dad
did.
And I go, you know what? Did you see football in the 80s and what the contracts were? He doesn't have as much as you think either. That's he did way better in his TV career than he did playing football. That's for sure. It's the money has gone to a different level now. But you're right, and it does cause problems. And of course, friends, family, whatever else, they see that number and they go, well, he's got extra to give to me, or I need something, or I know somebody that needs some money and he's got extra. And, that game gets played a lot when you're involved in professional sports. So you're right. There's another angle to think about that kind of hurts the player there. But, the other thing, too, Mike, that I think we bring up here, because Pete Carroll, and I kind of mentioned this last week at the Combine, would you agree? This kind of officially, I would think, puts them out of the quarterback conversation at number 5. I wouldn't think they give this contract, to Geno Smith and now are going to flirt with a quarterback at pick number 5 in the draft.
Well, I thought it was a little phony baloney anyway.
Yeah, we both
maybe
did. Right.
Like once the Texans and the Colts have theirs in the top 4, and there's still a couple of guys left, and here we are, and we got the Raiders and the Falcons and the Panthers. Yeah, we want a quarterback. Yeah, we want a quarterback.
Right.
Sure, because what could happen then is who picks 6th? Whoever picks 6th isn't going to be in the running for a quarterback. It's the Raiders, I think it's 7.
It's the Lions at 6.
Okay, so if you can sell the idea, we're thinking quarterback, 7, 8, 9 doesn't think all we have to do is get to 6 to jump the others in this cluster of 7, 8, and 9 who may all want quarterbacks. We got to get to 5. So I never believed that was real anyway. Now, the structure of the Geno Smith contract will tell me whether or not it's a 2-year deal or a 3-year deal. If it is a real 3-year deal, then no. If it's a 2-year deal with a third phony year, then maybe. Maybe they would draft a guy and develop him for a couple of years before they go with him. Right. But I think with their Russell Wilson experience, they'd much rather, if they're going to draft a quarterback, you want to get him on the field. You want to get the most out of his 3 years before you have to pay him that you can.
Right. That's what I would think they'd want to follow that mold, certainly. Hey, I think the way they exceeded expectations last year, that group they have at skill positions. I mean, we both looked at the tailback and we both go, he's a superstar, Kenneth Walker. The receivers are damn good. The O-line's got some young talent that you can be excited about for them. Defense, same type of thing. They need some different makers up front. But, yeah, I would have a hard time thinking, quarterback is part of that conversation now. They have some holes in their roster where pick number 5 can change their team. Oh, wait, now we have a legitimate pass rusher in the fourth quarter to get after Brock Purdy and the 49ers and win a football game in a tight one. That's the thing Seattle's been missing the last few years. They have not had that defensive guy that, can close out a game or make a big play in a big moment to kind of help them put them over the top like we saw early on in the Pete Carroll, years in Seattle. So they're close. Good for them getting Geno signed up. And they're in that playoff window right now, and one of those teams that I think we look at and go, there's potential for the Seahawks to be a dangerous team next year.
But remember, it was 2012 when they gave Matt Flynn that big contract, brought him in as the free agent, got Russell Wilson in round 3 after he was selected following punter Brian Anger. But Wilson was clearly the best option on the roster. It was a no-brainer. I had someone explain to me, it's been 8-9 years ago, that everyone praises Pete Carroll for being brave in picking Russell Wilson. The brave move would have been picking Matt Flynn because everybody knew Wilson was better than Flynn right out of the gate. So in theory, they could draft somebody, not necessarily even round 1, who comes in and they say, meritocracy, we're going with the best guy. But still, they've paid Geno Smith a lot of money, more than they paid Matt Flynn. Obviously, it's 11 years later.
Yeah.
But I suspect they're going to use him for 1 year, 2 years, maybe the full 3. And that structure, we hope to have that structure later this morning. That'll really let us know what kind of a commitment has been made to Geno Smith. But it's always better for the player, Chris, to have a shorter contract. Because when you get to a 5-year deal, those last 2 years are bullcrap anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
So if you can get a 3-year deal, that's great. Because you know what happens? If they decide they want to keep you, that means they rip it up after a year or 2 and give you an extension. Or they need cap relief. They give you an extension. Look at what Kirk Cousins has done with his original 3-year contract in Minnesota. He's been there 5 years. He's got another year up, and they may do another one. You get yourself into a great rhythm with those 3-year contracts if you're an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, you definitely do. It's favorable, and at quarterback right now, it's with the way the position's protected and all that, it's not maybe the gamble that it once was. 10, 15, 20 years ago. So, good for Geno Smith. Glad to see that he's getting rewarded for his patience, his work, and just kind of being a good NFL soldier that way. And he took advantage of his opportunity this year. And, I'm excited to see him and what he can do, next year with another year in this offense and that talent around him.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.